Hey there, it's Aaron, and it is January 25th, 2016, and it is 10:47 according to my computer. I haven't done an update in a while, like go through my collection and whatnot. The last thing I uploaded was something for Phil Lynott and the 30th anniversary of his passing. I don't know if you watched that. If you haven't, then you can go ahead. It's 3 parts. I'm not sure if you want to watch something that long. I should also mention that the cat is in here, Domino. So he may pop up. You may see him, yeah, like right there, like right now. He's coming into my lap right now. He wants to hang out with me here. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about was the vinyl I've got that I did get or buy or whatever. Music that I purchased or was given as a gift. Last time I made a video like this, which probably would have been somewhere in November, maybe December. I'd start with the vinyl. Now, the vinyl that I got here was all from something in Philadelphia called the Punk Rock Art Show. Now, I think it was only punk rock art in name because everything there, I mean, you were seeing other records like, Beatles or, things that weren't punk. So, I'm going to go in alphabetical order, as I always do, and the first one I'm going to talk about is Beatles, Revolver. The people, the people there who were selling the vinyl, some of them, when I was looking at their setups and their cards and whatnot, I'm thinking, okay, I think some of these vendors were at the All Things That Rock Fest, or some of them were, because that was in the Philadelphia area too. And I think I recognized this guy, and he noticed that I was holding a piece of paper, which is my list. I keep a list in my wallet of the things that I want to get. So he's saying, hey, you got a list? Let me see it. So he pulled this out, and he pulled another one out that was the U.S. copy or $25. Now this was priced at some $60, $50 or something, but he knocked it down to like 25 to $30, and that's all I had. So what the thing that was getting me, or the thing that was selling me, was that it's the UK version. So the US version omits 3 songs. So I really wanted to get this, and I negotiated with my mom and said, can I have this Christmas gift, early Christmas gift? And she said, yes, I mean, as you can imagine, or else I wouldn't be holding this. So, yeah, there it is. And this is a 1969 reissue, from what I know. I showed this in the other video I uploaded earlier this year, which is this, Phil Lynott, Solo and Soho. This is his first solo album. He released 2, and this was about, $3. And once I saw this, I mean, it wasn't on my list, but I just thought, oh, $3. Good story to tell, that amongst all these random records, I found this. So, yeah. Next up, good find here. It is the MC5, Kick Out the Jams. This is a UK repressing. The guy who was selling it had a bunch of other records. A very nice guy there. I handed him my list, and he showed me that he had the MC5, and that this was priced, I think, $25. I'm not showing these in the order that I bought them in. So at that point, I think this was about like $30 or $25. So all I had in my wallet was $20. So I just said, "Would you take 20?" And he said, "Yeah." So good find. Okay, and last of the vinyl albums, I think, is this. The Tubes, their debut album. I only have this from iTunes, so to have a hard copy of it that I can hold in my hands is good. I really like this album. It's a fun album. I think the Tubes are very, very underrated, and they could be funny. Check out some of their stuff. They could be very funny. I want to go to the CDs and digital music that I bought since the last time I posted a video, and they're all by the same 2 artists, and they are artists that have recently passed away, and I'm talking about Lemmy and David Bowie. So bummed out about both of them. I mean, with Lemmy, I mean, with him, it was sort of, no matter what the guy does, you know, he can drink and smoke as much as he, you know, wants to, and, you know, the guy will probably still be the last man on earth with, you know, Keith Richards and Ozzy Osbourne or whatever. But, you know, we got to be realistic that, you know, these guys are not going to be around forever. But, I mean, it just took a while for me to process it that Lemmy was dead. And it was already showing months before that his health was deteriorating, you know, not being able to perform full shows. And you could go look up the YouTube videos. I mean, the guy was sick. And it turns out, now at the time I'm recording this, the death certificate says that he died from prostate cancer. It just said at the time of his death that it was an aggressive form of cancer, and he was only informed 2 days before his death that he had it. But he made it to 70, which was he was born on Christmas Eve, 1945. So at least he made it to 70. But yeah, huge bummer. I did see Motorhead. It was July 2003, and it was with Iron Maiden and Dio. Iron Maiden were the headliners, and that would be during an Iron Maiden tour. Motorhead went on first, and at that point, 2003, it was the summer, so I hadn't turned 12 yet, so I was 11. So, I mean, I had known a little bit about Motorhead. I probably saw a couple videos on Metal Mania on VH1 Classic, and thought they were okay. Maybe a little bit too heavy for me, but just seeing them in concert, I just thought, oh my goodness, how can anyone like this? I mean, it really hurts me to say this because I've really come to like, you know, Lemmy and Motorhead so much. But at that time, it was just hard for me. I mean, they were very loud. I think they've been in the Guinness Book of World Records or whatever. That's the loudest band number of times. And there's a whole part in that Lemmy documentary, which I own, that shows how loud they are. And how people are covering their ears when Lemmy's doing his sound check and he's just barking orders and whatnot. So they were very, very loud. And my ears have always been sensitive as far as I can remember. So for concerts and movies, gotta wear earplugs. And I'm kind of glad it's that way because I know how much is too much. So then, you know, I mean, hearing's very important. So it's sort of a blessing in some ways. So yeah, it was really hard for me to get into it. But over the years, saw more things about Motorhead and Lemmy, and you know, I thought, well, okay, I like this song and that song, I guess. Lemmy seems like a good guy. I like him. He seems like a character. And then it wasn't until 12th grade that I decided, okay, I'll look into getting some Motorhead albums. And I also got his book, which I do have. I do have his autobiography. I got this, read this in 12th grade. I don't think I ever finished it, but I finished most of it. See, there's a bookmark here. I'm currently rereading it. So yeah, this is a fun book. The guy was filled with stories. So I got that. And then I had digitally. I owned Overkill, Ace of Spades, and No Sleep Till Hammersmith. And then when their last album, Bad Magic, came out back in September, iTunes had all the albums that Motorhead recorded. I don't think, probably not all of them, but the earlier ones, they were all on sale for about $5.99. So I got Bomber from that. So once I heard Lemmy died, I got 2 Motorhead albums right off the bat, and these are the 2. Iron Fist and Another Perfect Day. One comes right after the other, but this one came in the mail first. So I'll talk about them here. Okay. So, Iron Fist, this was the last album recorded with the classic lineup of Lemmy, Phil Taylor, who passed away a month before Lemmy did. Sucks. And Fast Eddie Clarke. Now, from what I've heard about this album, Fast Eddie Clarke, he produced or co-produced it, and he had some arguments with Lemmy during it, so... And some people think this is a good album. Some people don't like it. Some think it's average. I think it's a good album, but yeah, I think they had better. But it's not bad. I mean, the title track's great. I like Go to Hell. Loser. Speed Freak. Don't Let Them Grind You Down. Don't Need Religion's fun. It's a good album. I mean, it's not bad at all. Not bad at all, but yeah. Alright, then the one that came right after that one was Another Perfect Day. Now this is the one that came first in the mail. This is a good album. Took a couple of listens. By the second listen, really, that's when I thought, wow, this is a good album. Great production. That's got this really unique production to it, like sort of melodic in a way. By this time, Eddie Clarke had left the band, and he was replaced by Brian Robertson, formerly of Thin Lizzy. And this was the only album they made with Brian Robertson, because from what I heard, he wasn't an easy guy to work with. And he also wore, like, workout exercise clothes on stage. Like, he wore a headband and leg warmers. I mean, it sounds like he was ready to get out of there. And this is also their last album with Phil Taylor for some time, I think. He left or was fired, and then he came back into the group. But yeah, this is a good album. I think some people see this as underrated. I like Shine, Dancing on Your Grave, Rocket's good. You can hear an actual piano on that track, which is funny. I do like One Track Mind. The title track's good. I Got Mine. Yeah, I like this album. I really do. More than Iron Fist. Good album. Okay, and the other passing, David Bowie. Wow, did not see that coming. Compared to Lemmy, his passing was a surprise. As I mentioned before, that with Lemmy, he was struggling to continue any concerts or complete them. But the guy was still around until, the end of the year. But with David Bowie, I mean, the guy was a very private man. And he had been battling cancer for 18 months, and he had had 6 heart attacks during that time. So he must have been really sick. And yeah, he released an album 2 days before his passing, Black Star, which I do have, and that's one of the albums I'm going to show. For David Bowie, I want to show 2 albums. One of them I bought on the day he passed from iTunes, and his last album, which I'm sure you know. The album that I did buy from iTunes was this, Young Americans, I guess you can call it infamous Plastic Soul album. This was when David Bowie decided that he was done with glam rock and he was going to switch to soul music for a while. And yeah, this was really the only album he made with that in mind. I mean, Station to Station, I like to think of as like a bridge between this album and Low. And Low experimented with krautrock and the German music, and the beginning of the whole Berlin trilogy. So that's why I see Station to Station as the album in between. This is more of a soul album, and some people hate it. Some people think it's okay. I think it's okay. The production on here is really good, and I think that may have to do with the fact that they're iTunes mastered, if anyone's familiar with that. Now, as you can see, I have this in a slim case. I mentioned before that for CDRs, anything purchased off of iTunes and I burn onto a CD or rip from a vinyl, I put them in a zipper case, but there are a few occasions where I print out the album cover and put them in some cases. I've done that for Thin Lizzy, Captain Beefheart, and I figured David Bowie deserved it. So there it is. Did I put the tracking list here? No, I did not. Okay. From memory, my favorite songs are the two big hits on here are Young Americans and Fame, which he co-wrote with John Lennon. Other favorite songs, Fascination's good. I like When. Some of the guitar riffs on here are pretty heavy, even for a Plastic Soul album. The weak song on here, there's a really strange cover of Across the Universe on here. And I mentioned John Lennon co-wrote Fame. Did John Lennon listen to Across the Universe on here and tell him that it wasn't all that great? I mean, with all due respect to Mr. Bowie, you know, it's just a weird cover. I don't know. But overall, I mean, it's an interesting album. Not one of my favorites, but it's good. Alright, and last but not least, David Bowie's last album, Black Star. This came out 2 days before his passing, and I had already pre-ordered it before then. And my thoughts on it before his passing were that it was good. There were some good songs in there, very experimental. I think you would categorize it as an experimental jazz album, and very dark too. So yeah, it's a good album. It was a good album. And then now after he died, and knowing that it was his, you know, his farewell to his fans, his parting gift, as Tony Visconti called it. Wow, has my opinion changed on this album? I thought his album before this, Next Day, was better, given that it's more diverse. I mean, The Next Day is a very diverse album, right? But then again, The Next Day is also a very safe album. I think with The Next Day, he hadn't released anything in almost 10 years. So, I mean, people are waiting for this thing. I mean, what is it going to sound like? And he just went through, he just decided to make songs that sound like his other ones, which is not a bad thing. I mean, I like The Next Day, but some people weren't that crazy for it. But this one, this is how the guy wanted to go out. So, I mean, it's unique. And at least it has like an idea, like a lot of thought went into this. Like the guy figured out that this is probably going to be his last album. So, you know, just do everything he wants to do and put it on an album. And it's a very, very good album, and hell of a way to go out, because as soon as he died, this thing went out of print. And I know people are still looking for the vinyl copy of it. So, yeah, great album. Favorite songs? Well, there's only 7 on here. I like the title track. 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore. Lazarus, which some people think is about his death in some way. Like the lyrics indicated that he was probably dying or whatever. And I didn't think that. When people were talking about Lazarus and saying how the lyrics were about him dying, I decided, okay, I'll just read the lyrics. You know. And the first lyric is, "Here I am, up in heaven." Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, very haunting song. Girl Loves Me is good. I mean, all the songs on here are good. It's just, yeah, there's 7 good songs, and the album sort of becomes like, it begins very dark. Like it starts out as a very dark album, and then it ends sort of on a easy listening, but still bleak. Like a bleak, easy listening song with I Can't Give Everything Away. So, yeah, it's a very good album. And the thing that really, it cracks me up about this. The thing about the booklet that cracks me up is that, can you see anything there? If you tilt it, you can read the lyrics to the songs. Okay, that one you can see a little bit. It's like black on black, and you can barely read the lyrics here. It's just, I had to shine a light on it, but I found the lyrics online, so I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, it's a bummer. You know, we've lost Lemmy. And then this year's been crazy so far. We've had, well, David Bowie. Even though I'm not a fan of the Eagles at all, Glenn Frey, or Fry, either or, passed away. Dale Griffin of Mott the Hoople passed from Alzheimer's. And then just yesterday, Jimmy Bain from Rainbow and Dio passed. So, yeah, these guys are not getting any younger. But, yeah, that's all for me for now. So, yeah, I'll see y'all later.